Okay, so and recorder here as well is paused, so I'll just play it. So we're talking today, planning to talk about NetScaler, and let's. So first of all, of course, these are the troubleshooting. Some of the steps there that we should always, and we should keep on adding our troubleshooting scenarios and steps to any of our central, documentation where we put the documentation on. So and then there is that, are you sending screenshots for your Citrix repeat lab regularly? Are you repeating the Citrix labs? Please don't give up on these labs. This is for your own good. Try to learn as much as you can. And if you're stuck somewhere, involve me. These are holidays going on, so we can actually work together. You should also create a online group yourself, and connect to each other through online Google Hangout or any other free services, and then try to do your labs together and discuss it together, right? There are many other classes who are, you don't have to go somewhere and do it. Just connect online through Google Hangout and do your labs together. That's very interesting way to do it. Okay, so are you preparing for the exam? If you are, let me know as well. And you should also must have contacted with Munzer to get membership for. Okay, let me pause that. Resuming. Oh yeah. Okay, you're right. So resuming now, and yeah, it's resuming. So let's go ahead, and there's that NetScaler. So what's the big deal about that, and why is it so important? Also, I was planning to do some XenServer installation, but there is this appliance that is most used a lot. Uh, so NetScaler is an application delivery controller, ADC or application delivery controller, working between level 4 and 7 OSI model, performing traffic analysis to optimize, secure, and intelligently distribute it. So it is doing load balancing as well as monitoring, and it's that load balancing is intelligent. And you would know that in a big environment where there are tens or 50 or 100 app servers and app servers, then you would really want, and thousands of users are connecting and they are using the application, so you would really want to have some kind of load balancing. And if the server goes down, of course, the load balancer should know that right away, or the service on some server is not available and application is not working. So intelligently, the traffic should be redistributed, the new traffic should be distributed to other servers, and until that server which is down is up and running fine. So there is a monitoring aspect to that, that the NetScaler should be trying to discover that if the application is working or not, or server is performing well or not, or is available at all. There are plenty of features associated with Citrix NetScaler. These are the most important. It does the load balancing, content switching. Maybe there's a application that is heavily being used, so it could switch the content to the better performing servers. High availability, of course, if you can have servers or the services available 24/7. Even if you lost out of 10, you lost 3 servers or 4 servers. High availability means that, okay, the clients would never know that some things, that servers have been crashed in the background. So gateway, SSL, VPN. So it does receive VPN traffic with on the port 443 secure socket layer, and it can work as a gateway as well. We just have to do the configuration for all these related features. So it is that typical, router. It has all the routing, typical gateway, firewall, a VPN server, SSL offload for receiving and sending all the SSL traffic, and then there's clustering with the technology called Triscale. So you can the clustering. It always is one is active, one is passive. kind of setup, or if you have 5 active servers, so one goes down, still the cluster would still remain there in and keep the whole network intact. So global server load balancing, and so there are many high level features as well that would at least do load balancing act for all the services. But this is on a larger level, bigger level. This is basically it is doing, we're gonna go and check some of the load balancing terminology that NetScaler uses, which is totally different, of course, and the methodology. What are the methods? What are the components that needs to be configured for the basic load balancing to even start working? It's not out of the box that it can be configured. So all these features are there. Application firewall is there. Then you can just block the ports or enable the ports for typical applications which are using either HTTP or then their own ports. That so suppose you have SQL Server and it has a long list of ports. You have other servers also, some third-party servers also, banking softwares, hospital softwares, insurance company software. So there are many large applications that would require secure communication. So application firewall. So NetScaler is offering not only load balancing but all the other features as well. Your company can buy physical appliance, and or your company can buy the software version of it. What we are doing, so where does NetScaler appliance fit in the network? Where does it fit? You bought it, and where do you put it? A NetScaler appliance resides between the clients and the servers, between the clients and the servers, so that client requests and server responses pass through it in a typical installation. So there are other types of topologies as well, where it's not between the the client and server, but we're going to talk about that. In a typical installation, virtual servers configured on the appliance provide connection points that clients use to access the applications behind the appliance. Okay, there's a diagram coming. I'm going to be talking about this again. I'll repeat that again. So if the appliance owns a public IP address, so first of all, NetScaler is placed between okay, let me just get to the diagram earlier because there's a lot of words. This is what we're talking about. So NetScaler is placed between the clients, so receiving traffic from the internet outside clients, and the traffic goes through the NetScaler, and hence the load balancing happens. But when we want to configure a NetScaler, and it has to decide that the traffic that the incoming traffic has to go to which server, for that we have to properly configure it. And there is that other diagram that explains each and every component of NetScaler that has to be configured for the basic load balancing to even start working. So I'm going to start from scratch by downloading. Okay, I already downloaded the NetScaler VPX, that Express Edition for trial version, 1 year, but it's a 1 year trial version. But the thing is that it's going to be a little. When you see the process of adding an appliance, and if you have experience of already installing an appliance, you would know that it's that typical appliance adding, but the license as well as the connectivity with the Citrix environment, everything we have to discuss that. So what we are saying is that there is that terminology called virtual servers. So what virtual servers? I mean, in Citrix 6.5, what we have been doing, we know that whenever the virtual IAS is being used in the background, but here there's a term NetScaler is using virtual servers. It is configured on the appliance, the NetScaler itself, and the purpose of virtual server is to provide connection points that clients use to access the applications. So what's happening is clients will try to connect from outside to the NetScaler. When they hit the NetScaler with the virtual IP, or the public IP from the outside, the client has to be given an IP, right, to reach your company networks. So when the client reaches, the virtual servers will be configured inside the NetScaler to receive the client connection, and then provide connection points to access the applications. So virtual servers will receive the client connectivity, and then they will forward that request to the applications that the client want to use. So if the client is sitting outside, just want to open the Microsoft Word application from the Citrix environment, the connection request will come to the virtual servers, and after authentications and everything, the virtual server is responsible. This is inside this is inside that appliance, right, NetScaler. It is responsible just to forward that connection. It's not even forwarding, it terminates the connection and then enables or initiates its own connection, that virtual server, and makes the connection to that Microsoft Word application, which is on the App Center in the form. So we're gonna see that, oh, there's a virtual server. Okay, then there's another terminology called services. Then there are some 2 or 3 different components that we have to discuss. So one is virtual server, which we understand that, okay, it's going to receive the connections from clients, and then it's going to terminate that connection there and initiate a connection of its own for the client to that application that the client was trying to open, right? So we're going to see how do we create that inside the NetScaler. We're going to at least see the commands and where to go and check that. So the appliance owns public IP addresses. So since the client is coming from outside, so it has to be a public IP address, right, to reach your company network, and IP addresses that are associated with its virtual servers. So public IP is associated with the virtual server, while the real servers or physical servers, the Citrix servers, are isolated in a private network. So till now, some vague picture is creating, okay, there's a virtual server that's going to receive the connection from outside, from the internet, and then they're gonna communicate with the physical server, and then open the application for the clients. Okay, it is also possible, I'm gonna repeat that again with the diagram as well. It is also possible to operate the appliance in a transparent mode as an L2, layer 2 bridge or layer 3 router, or even to combine aspects of these and other modes. So it can do the routing as well, it can do the port forwarding as well. NetScaler has lots of functionality, and when you do get to buy that physical appliance, there is even more advanced features. You just have to be careful about the interfaces you have to put. There is a terminology for all the interfaces that we will be using, because it's a parameter device. It's going to be receiving traffic from outside. So there it says that a NetScaler appliance logically residing between clients and servers can be deployed in either of 2 physical modes, inline and one arm. Strange names. Lots of detail on this link, which I'm going to send you. So inline mode, network interfaces are connected to different Ethernet segments, and the appliance is placed between the clients and the servers. So suppose you have 5 floors, and there are 5 different subnets, each floor having its own subnet, and ultimately the connectivity is coming to the NetScaler. So you can enable interfaces. This is, we're talking about virtual appliance, right? So you can have interfaces added to the server, and each interface will be connected to different subnet. So the inside the NetScaler, you can actually define, oh, this traffic is for 192.168.100.0 subnet, This traffic is for 192.168.101.0 and 102.0, 103.0. So different subnets can be connected to the same one NetScaler appliance, and it will, or even in one switch, if there are different VLANs, so NetScaler can be configured that this traffic is meant for that VLAN, this traffic is meant for that VLAN. The appliance has a separate network interface to each client network and a separate network interface to each server network. Okay, so to the client network, the traffic coming from the client network, there's a separate interface, network card, and it's going to send that traffic or forward that traffic to the server network. Okay, there's another interface for that. The appliance and the servers can exist on different subnets in this configuration. Of course, client is coming from outside, but client can come from inside as well on the same subnet, right? Just like our private network or any of our environment. If the client is on the same network subnet also, you can use the NetScaler for the client, the traffic originated from inside the network, right? And it can come from different subnets outside or inside as well. So it is possible for the servers to be in a public network, okay, traffic coming from outside, and the clients to directly access the servers through the appliance, with the appliance transparently applying the L4 and L7 features. So it can, if the traffic is coming from outside, it can just basically load balance and forward the traffic to different servers, and you should not, apply any other extra features. You could just use it basically to send the traffic back and forth, and don't apply anything else, right? So usually virtual servers, we're going to be talking about that later as well, are configured to provide an abstraction of the real servers. So the traffic from outside is meant to be going for the physical servers, but virtual servers will receive that, and through those virtual servers the traffic will be forwarded or redirected to the physical servers. We're going to see that now. Okay, so that was the diagram for that. Virtual servers will be defined here in the appliance, and they will know that there, through this the traffic has to go to which physical server hosting all the applications in the farm. Okay, before I go further, this I can come back later as well. Okay, there are some main information for the NetScaler platforms. MPX means physical NetScaler appliance. So if you have the MPX version, there are many version additions for that. Then there's VPX, virtual NetScaler appliance, which we are trying today, available, and you can actually install the virtual one on VMware ESX, on Hyper-V and XenServer. What I was planning originally was to install first a XenServer in our environment, then inside the XenServer I was planning to install the VPX, but it's nested virtualization, so the memory and processing really hits them hard. Anyway, so I separated the labs. We're gonna install VPX on our VMware workstation directly, so we just need the VMware ESX version of that VPX which Citrix has released, and later we can install the XenServer and see that as well, how it is. So SDX, advanced hardware based Citrix hypervisor, to run multiple NetScaler VPX instances on a single hardware appliance. So that's like more expensive and complicated solution, but if you need more NetScalers for your huge Citrix environment, you can have one hardware appliance on which different or multiple instances of NetScaler VPX, the NetScaler virtual appliance, should be running on that. This is VPX so one hardware and multiple appliances. This is another solution that Citrix is giving. Then there's a cloud, AWS for Amazon and Azure. Microsoft is offering as well the cloud versions of your NetScaler. There's a very detailed document from Citrix if you want to learn. So this is a link. In the lab, we're going for NetScaler VPX on top of Microsoft VM. Seriously? Okay. Yeah, resume that. Okay, so we have that fixed. Yeah. So this is for layer 2 and so it's not level, so it will be, sorry, I'm replying to the chat comments in the chat. So it would be when it's routing traffic, it could be layer 2 or 3. So can you route a traffic on layer 2 and 3 or layer 6 and 7, 4 or 7? So OSI 4 and 7, right? So we're going, there is a slide coming for this, so we're going to discuss that again, because there are some in-depth discussion on the traffic flow that is coming. But if I start now, we will definitely miss the lab then. So during the lab, I'm going to keep coming back and forth to the slide and the lab. So editions, Citrix NetScaler is available in 3 different editions: Platinum, Enterprise, Standard. What we are doing is, trial version, Express edition, having full features. Detailed features on this link. So NetScaler has both command line interface and a graphical. So we're gonna see that. So now this is the architecture. There are these configurations that we will be seeing, although what we are configuring today is going to be a little simple, but we should at least know all these. The NetScaler appliance uses different IP addresses for management and connections. So these are NSIP, NetScaler IP itself, to access the NetScaler. Then there is that subnet IP if your internal network is connected. So there are 5 servers, 5 Citrix servers, suppose in 192.168.100 subnet. Then there are 10 servers in 192.168.101 subnet, and then 102 subnet, 10 servers, and 103 subnet, 4 servers. So if they are distributed in different subnets, you could define you can define this SNIP per subnet. You can keep on defining that. Okay, I'm receiving traffic for you must have those interfaces there. So you could define SNIPs there, or subnet IPs. We're going to try to talk in detail as well. MIP, mapped IPs for same subnet. Suppose the clients are internal clients, not coming from internet, and they are connecting from within the same subnet on which your Citrix servers are available. In that case, it is mapped IP we can give. And then there's a virtual IP, which, hey, anyone knows what's VIP used for? So what is VIP used for? Anyone ever heard of virtual IP and concept of virtual IP? We use it for different scenarios. I mean, like, so virtual IP, first of all, there's a name and IP configured in DNS, but there is no physical device. There's no one specific single physical device that it is relating to. So VIP is used for, or virtual IP is used where it is one IP receiving traffic for multiple servers. So all the traffic has to hit this virtual IP, and from this virtual IP it's going to go to different servers. So if you can take that example of, you have 10 Citrix servers, one to many net. Okay, There you said it, Ali. There's thousands of so suppose 1000 clients are connecting from internet. They need one IP, and that one IP would be redirecting them to the many servers that are behind that virtual IP, but that virtual IP is not connected to any one specific server, right? So this is also used in load balancing for Microsoft servers or any load balancers out there, as well as for the uh, for what else? Can anyone tell me? Virtual IP is used for exchange, DAGs as well. It is used for many high availability solutions. So hence it is used here as well, right? So but NSIP, SNIP, wow, same words. I mean letters. So and MIP. Let's go ahead a little. Okay, so I downloaded, and you can download the trial version of NetScaler from this link, and then uh, just download now. Then go ahead and just install that. If we go for the virtual version, you can install it on any of the hypervisors from Citrix XenServer, from VMware ESXi, and from Microsoft Hyper-V. Um, so we're gonna go for VMware. You cannot install standard VMware tools or upgrade the VMware tools version on NetScaler. Even if you install it on your production environment in ASXi hypervisor, you won't be able to update those. VMware tools for NetScaler virtual appliance are delivered as part of the NetScaler software release itself. So what we download, they should be inside there. Okay, before installing NetScaler virtual appliances on VMware ESX, make sure that then there is that VMware ESX prerequisites that is saying that it's make sure that ESX server is installed on a machine with adequate system resources. Yeah, of course. Now they are high-end servers, so we don't need to go through this. It should be above ESXi version 4.1. The client or tool must be installed on a remote machine. Yeah, so we can remotely access VMware ESX. Maybe you have used it or maybe not. This VMware course just ended before this Citrix. So after the installation, you can use vSphere client or vSphere web client. Yeah, of course, that's how we access ESX, right? Hypervisor. The VMware vSphere client shows, so maybe it shows Sun Solaris 10 because it hasn't yet recognized FreeBSD, which is the OS on which NetScaler was created. This is just another flavor of Linux. Prerequisites for installing NetScaler. Install ESX version. Since we are going for VMware, that's why I put this there. Above, it should be above 4.1. Well, now 6 version has been released for vSphere, and later hardware should be good. Install VMware client, of course, on any of the workstation. Download the NetScaler appliance. Label the physical network ports. Obtain NetScaler license files. So we're gonna. This is already done. We have VMware workstation. Download the NetScaler virtual appliance. So I haven't downloaded that. Label the physical network ports for VMware ESX. So inside the ESX, we can specifically label the network ports or port groups. But we don't have that right now. So with VMware workstation, it's much more simpler. When I do that, you will see that. Obtain NetScaler license files for more information about NetScaler virtual appliance licenses. So this is also going to be taking a little more steps, and you have to see that to do that. How to do this to get the license file with the host ID of the appliance. Let's get going. Let's do the lab. After installation and basic configuration of NetScaler VPX Express, we can configure it for basic load balancing by following this. So there's a link there, and it's not that easy. This is still introductory, and the main thing is that we get to know the inside of NetScaler. We get to talk about some of the major components that would let you configure the NetScaler. But with this know-how, you would be better equipped to, at least when you have a NetScaler in your environment, you would be having a lot of knowledge or enough knowledge to basically configure that and check, okay, where to go, what to do with this. So this is let's go ahead and try to at least download that. So I just wanted to show you some of the links that I was accessing. One of them is okay, the license file and everything. So yeah, if I just get to show you the versions. So one of the link is, let me drag it, it's this. So NetScaler, this is the NetScaler VPX Platinum free trial. Review system requirements and download software. So you can see that they have created that version for VPX on XenServer, VMware. So if you install XenServer version, it's not gonna install on VMware, of course. We know that. So I downloaded this VMware, and you can easily get it from 1 year trial version from this site for your account. So VPX on Hyper-V and for KVM. So this is for KVM, where you can connect it to over the KVM network switch, KVM switch actually. So KVM or IP, basically you will be able to use that. So there are 4 types that it has released for four different platforms, for different environments. Then we have to get the license version, and then there are facts to download this. So I already downloaded this VMware, and where did I put it? There. So this is the NetScaler Express edition, and if we go down, these are the 3 files: .mf, .ovf, and the vmdk, of course, which is 235 approximately. When you download, it's 235 megabyte one file that then you extract from. So yeah, this is the file, 243 megabyte, and so I extracted that. Okay, so I'll just add this in my VMware workstation environment. So well, I already had one, in fact. Okay, that was a lot of hard work, but I'm gonna delete that. Delete from disk. Yeah, that was the appliance. So we have our environment working right now, and this is something I need to put in front of me, the DNS manager on my domain controller in my environment, because I need to know what IP addresses are already occupied, or in a production environment I would have an Excel sheet where I would have defined that I need to put this IP. We basically have to separate 2 IP addresses for static IP addresses for this device, but at which point we're gonna talk about that. Right now what I'm doing is, if I had a ESXi, I would have done the same. I would have just added that appliance, but now I'm adding it to VMware Workstation. It works for both. So if you go click open here, it's already there on that folder, but if I go from up there, so it's NetScaler Express, I just create a folder, then this is extracted one, and .ovf open virtualization format package, which the VMware products recognize. So double click that, and it's going to start store the new virtual machine where. So I already have one machine by this name, so I'm just gonna press type 1 to add this one as well on the same path, and click import. It's going to import that, and then we start. I had created a lot of hundreds of screenshots just to make sure that I don't miss any step. So we're going to be hopefully fine with this. Just wanted to clear the screen and make those steps. So here it has just started, and it's going to ask, hey, what IP address are you going to put there to access this appliance? It's going to be asking that put a static IP address there. So while it is loading, if I go back, I have already used up 4 5 3 2 1. Okay, so when it reaches, I have to, there it is asking for enters NetScaler's IPv4 address. So if I go for 192.168, this is what I'm giving right now. It doesn't have anything, and I don't want to give it from DHCP. 192.168.200 dot sync 678 are not being used, and okay. So I'll just put this 6 IP address, or let's put 7. Enter. It's asking for subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Enter the gateway 192.168. Okay, and there are lots of messages coming which are not supposed to be recorded. So I'll just put it down to I'm just putting off those sorry, wait up, notification. Oh, sorry for that. Save changes. Okay, no more emails pop up for washers, right? Okay, so there's that IP address 192.168.200. I think it's 50, right? Is it? Yeah, it's always 50. Come on. Anyway. Yep. So this is just like any other basic Linux machine, or in this case we are having a FreeBSD based appliance here, and just a Linux flavor. So it's going to be 50. I'm pressing enter here, then it offers me this okay, sorry, I'm at home. So now it's asking, hey, do you want to save and quit? Yes, I put all my information, so I just want to save and quit. So I'm just gonna press 4 here and enter. It has taken this configuration, and see, it's showing gateway, and so now I can try to remotely connect from any of the servers, browser. So I'm just gonna go to any of the Citrix servers there and try to connect. So Citrix mem2, I can go there and open that. When we are connecting through browser, the Internet Explorer has been not very friendly. Even that was the case when we were doing VMware class. We had to open either Google or the Firefox, but Internet Explorer was not that friendly, or we had to download those other files to make it work as we want. But this out of the box, when you open the Chrome, it just works well. Let's see, 192.168.200.7. Press enter. It's not going to find that because I just remembered, if we go to any of the machine network IP addresses, I'm on VMnet 14. So is this on VMnet 14? Nope. So that's okay. Okay. On Citrix mem2. So if I put it, oh, there you go. Okay, so if we go ahead with this, I'm just gonna drag it a little here, and so the username password, default username password is, oh seriously, So okay, so there is a lot of background noise. Sorry, young kids. Okay, so the default username password is nsroot. So nsroot is the username, and it's the same password as well. Small case, of course, for the password for nsroot, but it is nsroot. So login. Let's just save it. So it asks for this basic configuration. Use this wizard for initial configuration. To change previously, no, we don't have previous configuration. That's it. An orange circle containing a dash indicates that you have chosen to skip this section. So anyway, we already gave this IP address and subnet mask there, right? So subnet IP address for this specific subnet where this NetScaler has been deployed, and where we are expecting traffic from clients, as well as the traffic is going to the backend servers. So if I click here, this is a cool diagram that just shows exactly how what we're selecting and how we're selecting that. So if I put here subnet IP address, so it says a subnet IP address is used by the NetScaler to communicate with the backend servers. So NetScaler uses this subnet IP address as a source IP address to proxy the client connections, as well as to send monitor probes to check the health of the backend server. So subnet IP address, it's written here. Yeah, so source IP, so the connection is initiated from the client first, and it hits this VIP or virtual IP address of the NetScaler appliance. VIP, as we did discuss, that it's the virtual IP address, and this could be the public IP address through which the client is connecting to the NetScaler basically. And then there is that SNIP or subnet IP address. The infographic shows that depending on your network topology, you might have to configure additional subnet IP addresses. If you have different subnets or more than one subnets, you can even have you can add more subnet IP addresses, but we have in our case. So this is the internal network side of the appliance, where you have to configure the SNIP, and the request goes to source. The SNIP initiates from here, and then to the destination server IP address. Then the response of the server, yes, you want to open Microsoft Word, Mr. Client. So it goes back. The source IP address is the server IP address, and the destination is again the SNIP or the subnet IP address of the internal side of the NetScaler. And from there, it just goes back to the client from virtual IP to the destination client IP. So subnet IP is just going to communicate, will be the source from where it communicates to the backend servers, right? So you have to give an IP here to this site. So first I gave an IP address to this device to communicate with this device, which was 192.168.200.7. So now I'm giving an SNIP so this device can communicate with the backend servers. .8. In production environment, of course, I would have some kind of spreadsheet or Excel sheet where I'm maintaining already which device has which appliance, or which server, which printer has which static IP. And of course, I would have already defined that on our DHCP servers already has from this range to this range as the IP addresses for the clients. So all static IP addresses will be singled out. Now there is that new feature in Windows 2012 R2 called IPAM, IP address management. This is a cool feature, a role actually, and you can just configure, and you can know from maps and by auto discovery, it tries to see which IP address is taken by which device and how many are remaining. Anyway, so this is the subnet IP address. which we have given, and this is on the internal side of the NetScaler, where it communicates with the backend servers, right? Done. And then it's saying that, hey, we want to know, name your host name, DNS IP address, and time zone. So I'm just gonna go there. Well, we can just put it NS NetScaler 01. Then I can create an A record for this NS01 as well. So specify a host name to identify a NetScaler. When you generate the universal license for NetScaler gateway, the host name is used in the license. Specify the IP address of a DNS server. If you want to allocate your licenses from the Citrix licensing portal, we can create this on the DNS server as well, if we want to go, and then specify the time zone, which is our domain controller, of course. But we're going to download the file .lic or license file directly from the Citrix, and I'm going to show you the way. It's the same way as we downloaded the file, license file for our farm as well. But after that, NetScaler, we're going to upload that file directly to the NetScaler instead of uploading it to the Citrix licensing portal, which was used for the farm licensing. So DNS IP address, of course, our DNS is 200.1. If we had alternate, we could add that. And universal time zone, in universe, where are we? Okay, so we are -5, and hey, we're in Jamaica. Yeah. Okay. So, well, you know why? Because, oh, it's not PET, it's EST. Sorry. Because there's no Toronto, there's no New York. Anyway, so -5 is where we are. Done. Do you want to reboot now? Well, if it's asking for it, yes. So, is it rebooting my Citrix mem server? No, it's just rebooting that appliance, right? So warm reboot in progress, and if I go to the appliance, well, could be rebooting by now. Yep, it started. Okay. So yeah, restart, reinitializing, next, restart, everything. So if I go back 2 seconds, logging in, try to connect now. Okay, there it is, and it has already saved my username and password. So logging in now. So basic setup is done, but license has to be there. And if I go to the dashboard now, it is just showing some meters for CPU usage, CPU packet CPU usage, and management CPU usage, in-use memory, and how many packets are being it is receiving or hitting it. But without license, it's not going to give us a lot of configuration options there, because it's full of a huge amount of options here to configure and create all the features, or use all the features of the NetScaler. But right now it says that, hey, give me the license so I could show you all the features. So if I click that license here, then it says, okay, where's your license? Upload it, use serial number, or use license activation code. So we can use the serial number, which is actually nice, or we can have the .lic file as well. So where we had the file on the license portal, and just I have millions of screens open here on the second screen. And by the way, I discovered how to make your tablet as a second screen for your laptop or desktop. Yay! So you can ask me. Anyway. Okay, so if I drag this, activate and allocate licenses. Yeah, let me drag this now. So this is a page where the license can be requested. So when you downloaded that, it just sent you the license, and I already actually mentioned that, but if I continue and try to have, oh sorry, so confirm download. Okay, let me just activate and allocate licenses. If I go for um, so this is my evaluation for 90 days, this is my evaluation for 90 days, and this is 3 November, and that's 24th of October. And if I go to view licenses here, I hope you remember that we had to download, okay, there it is, NetScaler. And currently, so this is WebEx details, single allocation, reallocate. I just wanted to show you where. Okay, if I go click here for reallocate and click this continue, so for this specific device it is asking for host ID, right? So we can get that host ID. So if I just drag this away a little and go back to this virtual machine, the appliance, and press enter, there's that login screen um, on this appliance. So if I go for nsroot as a username and nsroot as a password, I'm in. What I needed to put here was those commands. For that I need to go to shell to put those commands with elevated privileges, and for this I'm just trying to get that to show, the screenshot I took, because I don't want to mess up anything, but I wanted to put that command and show that if there are no errors coming there. Yeah, there it is. So first I need to go to shell, and we're in the root. So and then we have to put this command lm util lm host id, lm host id. What it's basically asking there is a host id minus ether. So lm util lm host id minus ether, and when we go there and when we press enter, there it is, this host ID 000C295D6303. So if I drag that again, because licensing do get a bit tricky when we are trying to allocate the license. So if I drag this screen back again, here it says that please mention that, and since it's another, this I had entered for a previous appliance, which I added, so I need to put that this host ID as it's mentioned here to this screen here. So I'm just going to drag it to an angle where I can just see both. So it's 000. Oh, is it the same? Nope. So C 295 D6303 D6303 D6 oops 6303. Okay, and continue. So that's it. If it accepts that, it better. Okay, good. So select, configure, confirm. Yes, this is it. The host ID, I wanted to show you how to get the host ID with these commands. Although it could be okay. So confirm this. Oh yeah. So now it's asking, hey, you want to download this file? So yes. So it is still selected and download. Oops. Okay, there was a comment there, so I missed it. But it said DHCP is off as default. Yeah, DHCP is off. But even if it was on, and if the appliance had received an IP address from DHCP, I would still give it static. Uh, so now the license file is there, 6B37. Yeah, it's a different one. So it's in NetScaler Express. Okay, I'll just save it there on my computer and go back to my Citrix server where this is waiting for that upload file. And okay, and that upload file is there on NetScaler Express. I think this is 810. Yeah, right now it's 811. So right click, copy, and then go back to that Citrix man server where it's waiting. So it's just saying that if the file is in your local computer, just put it there and upload it from there. So I put it in the local computer in the documents, and then browse, and yeah, 6B37. Double click that. Okay, so and reboot. So if it is already present, yeah, add new lessons. Okay, another warm reboot starts that right away. Okay, pit boss. Okay, so wow, now it restarted. Let's go back and try to check some of the basic configurations for that, and let's discuss. I'm going to drag some pages there so we could try to know some of the concepts of how to basically configure load balancing in NetScaler. But that's going to be more discussion than the actual implementation, because I will leave it to you. I will send the links, and you can do the implementation and involve me wherever you're stuck. Yay! But you get to know some of the terminology that we must know at least. I will connect after one attempt. Oh, seriously? Okay, good. We're back. So, okay, it's back. Log in, and now you should be seeing all these features. Yep. So this, all these features, when they're enabled, this can tell you that you're dealing with a very, it's a perimeter device receiving the traffic from outside. It's a load balancer. It can do clustering. Then there are lots of features: application firewall, HTTP compression, and priority queuing, so IPv6 support, BGP, and RIP routing. So you can see lots of functionality on the network side that you can configure in this device, and so that's why it is a full-fledged different course. But I just added it here just to have a knowledge of okay, there's a NetScaler, and this is basically how we can configure it. We can put it between the applications. But then now configuration shows all those options to really go down, dig deep, and configure these things. But when we come to traffic management, this is where load balancing option is there, and then there is that virtual servers that we should be creating, services that can be created, and monitors that can be created. But I'm going to show you some of the, and then there's that NetScaler gateway that you can do some global settings there. You can see that it's pretty complicated device, and you could just spend a lot of time just to configure it on the parameter, or within your two branches you can configure it just to have the traffic really going well, monitored well. Then there's the Zen mobile, and Zen desktop as well. You can integrate with NetScaler. So it's pretty complicated device, appliance, and this is the the physical appliance also has even more features, but this already is a lot of features we're seeing here. The traffic management just gives you the basic load balancing, and even that out of the box, nothing is configured. We just access that, right, and put the license there. So then there is that virtual servers that we can configure services. So what are those? And just brief intro to some of those uh, components that's going to help us basically configure that server. So if we go, I'm just on the other screen and trying to put some more pages there, and there is this traffic flow architecture. So let me just go back to my slide. How load balancing works and load balancing basics. So in Citrix, when we talk about NetScaler, at once, first thing that comes is, oh, it must be a load balancer. Mostly it is used for load balancing, but you can see that there are a huge amount of functionality that when you go for load balancing, what else does it do, and how can we make it even better, and what other features it has. So but if even if we can configure load balancing, that would be good enough for the Citrix environment. But you can do the full course to go ahead and try to implement the whole thing. So what we were doing with this lab, but basically a load balancing setup includes a load balancing virtual server and multiple load balanced application servers. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And let me drag, actually, the diagram is coming, which will clarify this later. That the virtual server receives incoming client requests, uses the load balancing algorithm to select an application server, and forwards the requests to the selected application server. So again, if I drag this guy, this wow, finally it is convinced that it has to be warm reboot. Oh, seriously, what I wanted to show you was, okay, let me just drag it. But the main thing, virtual server receives incoming client request, uses the load balancing algorithm to select an application server, and forwards the request to the selected application server. The following conceptual drawing, okay, it's following, illustrates a typical load balancing deployment. Another variation involves assigning a global HTTP port, but so this drawing just shows the components that we have to configure. What's happening is that, okay, there's that request path that it was go initiates from the client to the internet to the load balancer, then to the service. So what is going on? This is the appliance. Inside the appliance, we have configured a virtual server, and that virtual server has to tell how many services are there in the environment. So what is a service? To the load balancer, a service could be an application server, the full physical server, or the application installed on the server, or one application that is hosting more applications. So maybe this physical server has XenServer installed, and on the XenServer there are 5 virtual machines. On those 5 virtual machines, you have Citrix farm configured. So whatever service is there that the client wants to access, the virtual server on the appliance has to know that service. So on the virtual server, we define on the that load balancer NetScaler, we have to define what service is on the back end, and then we have to define that, okay, let's create a virtual server for that service, and then that virtual server will know, oh, there is that physical server here, or there is that Zen server with all the virtual machines there, and inside the virtual machines there are 5 virtual machines, and there's a farm there. So through this service, we tell the NetScaler that how many backend servers are there, or what applications are running on those backend servers, and virtual server inside this appliance will receive the connection and forward that connection request to the proper service running on any of those servers, right? So, and then the monitoring has to be defined as well. Hey, monitor that service which we defined there in the appliance. Monitor that as well. We also defined that there is that service running here, there is that service, so monitor all the services as well. We have to separately define a virtual server, we have to separately define a service, and separately define a monitor inside. So these are different components that has to be defined for the appliance to receive a connection, and then to forward the connections intelligently to the least used the high-end server which is having the least traffic right now. It should forward that. So NetScaler is, as I said, is much more complicated than the access gateway we were talking about before, and or any other load balancer. Then we tried the load balancing of Microsoft load balancer as well, right? But that was just for the web interface. But this is on larger scale on the perimeter of the network that we're doing it, or trying to see that the load balancing virtual server can use any of a number of algorithms or methods to determine how to distribute load among the load balance servers, right? So virtual server will decide that how to distribute the load among the load balanced servers that it manages. The default load balancing method is the least connection method, in which the NetScaler appliance forwards each incoming client connection to whichever load balanced application server currently has the fewest active user, the least used. This is the same as web interface was working, that it was being used as a least, it was forwarding the traffic to the least used app center or the XenApp server, right? So there is that. So the main on the very basic level, what entities we need to configure on NetScaler for it to basically start working. There's that load balancing virtual server we have to configure, and you can configure it by GUI or by command line. What does it do? What do you need to configure inside the virtual server? The IP address, the port, and protocol combination to which a client sends connection requests for a particular load balanced website or application. If the application is accessible from the internet, the virtual IP address is a public IP address. So if I drag this image here, oops. So if this image comes, there is that virtual server. So client connection is initiated, and the through virtual IP that the client reaches to our NetScaler, and from NetScaler the virtual server actually forwards the traffic to the least used XenApp server, right? This is subnet IP as we saw in the diagram, right? So if I drag it away, so this is so we have to configure first our virtual server, and I'm going to show you the commands to do that, and the what's the path for configuring it on the graphical user interface. Then we have to configure service, the IP address, port, and protocol combination used to route requests to a specific load balanced application server. A service can be a logical representation of the application server itself, or of an application running on a server that hosts multiple applications. After creating a service, you bind it to a load balancing virtual server. So there is virtual server that has to be configured, then there is that service has to be configured, then there is a server object that, oh, this is a physical server that we have and this is the IP address of that server. We have to configure that. Then there's a monitor that will monitor that service that we made a connection with or defined it on the server, right? So let me just show you that document, which is going to where the commands are, where I can show you the commands for configuring all this, and let's try some of those. This is, yeah, we already went through that. The installation screen, and so how basically the load balancing will work, and all the commands that we're going to be using here. I'm just trying to grab them from the other screen. Okay, so let me drag this. This is the product documentation of Citrix itself. If I make it bigger, so these are the 5 to set up basic load balancing. See the following section. So now setting up a basic load balancing, we have to just run those commands to configure those services. So enable load balancing, first of all we have to enable the load balancing itself. So we can just run this command on it without even going to the shell. So enable NS feature load balancing. So we have that appliance there, and if I press enter, the login is there, NS root, and we don't have to go to the shell, but the command is let's see if it's working. Enable NS feature. So this means that load balancing feature itself is disabled by default, and enter, done. And the command to know that this feature is there or not is show NS feature. Okay, since we enabled I think, after enabling that or adding that license, it is showing all the other features as well. So guys, those with the that Linux knowledge, can you tell me which command does the show it page wise? Anyone who's a Linux genius can show me that or tell me that. Or yeah, that command is just working, right? Show NS feature load balancing, or let's just try this. This was enable, right? Show NS feature load balancing. Does it? No star argument. Yeah, I was just giving it a guess. Load balancing. Maybe. Alright. Okay. Anyway. Does it work this way? Anyway, I'm not gonna try to discover more than this. L. Okay. So let's ls is for, yeah, just like dir in DOS, but let's not go ahead. It's FreeBSD, so it's free. No, the name is FreeBSD. It's a Linux flavor. Maybe it has some different. ls is supposed to show the directories, but this I want to. This is the name of the feature that we wanted to see. But anyway, it says that it's done. It has been added. If I just run that command again, enable NS feature load balancing, it should be. It says done. We trust it, right? So let's go ahead. If it is done, then I wanted to walk you through some of the other things that. So show NS feature, right? That's what I was trying, and it showed the whole set of features, and it did not give an extra command. Show me an extra command there. NetScaler push was off, but anyway, it says it's done. Let's go ahead to enable load balancing by using the configuration utility. So navigate. So this is where the graphical interface is, where we can do it. We can actually confirm it as well. So if we go to the graphical interface, it says that go to system settings and configuration basic features. So system settings. Okay, about licenses. Yeah, we can just see all the features enabled for 1 year. Wow, you can play a lot with this, right? Settings, and then and configure basic features. Okay. Hey, why were we even trying or bothering that? Just click here. So anyway, SSL load, offloading, content filtering, right? Okay, you can see all the major uh, features here that we can just click and enable, right? But it goes really down. What I wanted to show here was just to follow this document for setting up basic load balancing, right? At least basic load balancing should be enabled. So configuring services. So the first step was enabling load balancing. Second is configuring services. Third is creating a virtual server. Fourth is binding services to the virtual server and verifying the configuration. So after you enable the load balancing feature, you must create at least one service for each application server that is to be included in your load balancing setup. So in our case, we have two application servers, right? The services that you configure provide the connections between the NetScaler appliance and the load balanced server. So when we configure or define services there, it's going to provide that connection between the NetScaler appliance and the load balanced servers. Each service has a, so of course we have to give name and specify an IP address, a port, and type of data that is served. So well, then it goes on explaining creating a service, HTTP, SSL, FTP. These are type of data that we can define there, and so that's why I just wanted to skip that. To create a service by using the command line and add service HTTP, and this is, so in our case our Citrix mem01 is 192.168. Okay, yeah, there was a comment there. You get help after show. Yep. Yeah, we'll try that Linux. So add service. So this is how we can add a service. In our case, the Citrix mem01 is 192.168.200.2 and 192.168.200.3, and over that we can enable the service HTTP 80. So through web browser, the clients can open the applications when they are connected from outside to these servers through the NetScaler, right? So in our private environment, we can try to really make that happen. But here I'm just trying to say that do experiment it more deeply if you want to go ahead with that. But the main thing is that you have to define, so configuring the, installing the NetScaler and then configuring the license, installing it successfully, trying to make basic communication is there, but how to configure the basic load balancing, you still have to go through all these steps to configure that. So I'm just trying to explain a little more here instead of actually doing that, because I tried before and it needs a bit more complicated steps that really take more time, and we don't get to, I mean, we need more time, class time, for this to happen, to do. That's why I'm just showing the document here. But what I'm going to be really doing is that 7.6 step by step as well, the new environment. I'll try my best. Each service has, okay, so first thing we did enable this command. Second thing, you have to define a service, and in the service you have to actually mention the name and IP, and this is a good example of that. Or otherwise, traffic management, load balancing, and services. Then we click add, and it asks for service name, server, protocol, port. So if we want to check this out, it is traffic management, services, add, and then we can just put that Citrix apps, just the name of the service, which is an existing server actually. So uh, existing server, name of the server that hosts the service. It's not appearing here because we haven't made that communication between the two servers. So if we go for new server, um, that's how we can define at least 200 dot, I think it's, yeah, 2. And then there's a long list of what type of protocol are you allowing. So we can just basically first allow HTTP here, and then there are more options here: traffic domain, hash ID. If you want to go deeper, let's not. So enable server health monitoring and app flow logging, uh, and press OK. So at least we have made a basic communication between this NetScaler and our first Citrix server, which is apps. The 200.2 is our Citrix server 01, and I just wanted to make sure that it says a 200.2, right? Oh yeah, it is 200. Okay, so well, this is a service created, and if I want to drag that document again, then creating a virtual server. So service just tells NetScaler, hey, there is that server there by this IP address, and if you wanna mention the name as well, there by this name. Then there is that creating a virtual server. After you create your services, you must create a virtual server to accept traffic for the load balanced websites. So in our case, the that web interface for the application server, the Citrix servers, the web interface. So to accept traffic for the load balanced websites, applications, or servers. Once load balancing is configured, users connect to the load balanced website, application, or server through the virtual server's IP address or FQDN. So we have to define a virtual server that is going to accept the traffic from outside and let it connect to our internal that web interface, which is hosted on our application, on our Citrix App Center XenApp server. So the virtual server is designated as down until you bind the services that you created to it. So the service we created, we just defined in the service that, oh, XenApp server 1 or our Citrix MEM 01 is our first server. We defined that service already, right? So until the virtual server is designated as down until you bind that service to that virtual server. So virtual server has to know that there is that service available to which it needs to forward the client requests, right? Okay, so and until the NetScaler appliance connects to those services and verifies that they are operational, only then is the virtual server designated as that up. Otherwise, it is down. To create a virtual server, so first we enable the load balancing, then we created a service that told the NetScaler that there is that XenApp server existing in our environment, and that's the IP address. Now we're saying that, hey, you want to forward the traffic from outside to this NetScaler, to this XenApp server, then you have to create that virtual server that's going to redirect that traffic from outside to that. So there's this add LB server, the command line, or to create a virtual server by using the configuration utility, traffic management, load balancing, virtual servers, and then create a virtual server. And then we go for binding services to the virtual server. So let's check that out. If you go to back and we go to virtual server, so there's a state, effective state, IP address, port, protocol, method, persistent. So that's when we create a virtual server. So we can create that name. VS for Citrix, and HTTP is already there. We can IP pattern or non-addressable, but we can go for IP address for now. And this would be, let's drag it back here. I'm just gonna put it down here. Oh, it has gone. So creating a virtual server. This virtual server is considered on to create a virtual server. You have to put that IP address for that virtual server, right? So add name, LB server name, and then service type, then the IP, and then the port. So now this, you can see that even the range is different. So there is that 192, which is the internal IP address, right? So that's our internal environment for service. So we are telling NetScaler, hey, there's that server, XenApp server inside our environment. So now you can see that this is a totally different range, totally different subnet that we have to define. So NetScaler inside IP address is given here right now. But what I can see from here is that this could be just a separate other subnet that we can that they have shown here. What I would do is I would just give another static IP address from my similar range to at least get it up and running and consider it up and working. And then so once we define a virtual server, then we have to bind the virtual server ports. So binding services, after you have created services and virtual server, you must bind the services to the virtual server. In most cases, services are bound to virtual servers of the same type, but you can bind certain types of services to certain different types of virtual servers. So service is HTTP, we can just bind it to the virtual server, which is already also accepting HTTP protocol. So whatever HTTP traffic is coming from outside for to open the web interface of the Citrix environment, they're gonna be accepted. That traffic or request to open the web browser to open that web interface will be accepted by virtual server, then forwarded to the services if they are bound together. So bind LB server, v01 LB service HTTP. So this is, it goes ahead, virtual server is bound to the services now. So we can do it by command line or by that web GUI interface, verifying the configuration, and then viewing the properties of a virtual server. So it just takes, this document is crucial to get the basic load balancing running for this edition of VPX server, and viewing the properties of a service. Yeah, then after binding, it's just expecting it to work. Viewing the statistics of a virtual server, and there's different commands there. So this link is crucial after you have really downloaded the appliance and then installed the put the license there, and you want to do something about, okay, let's do something NetScaler. So this document is the crucial one to get the NetScaler up and running. I am also sending the link. It's good to have an assignment, try to do that at home, but this document, if you really want to make a working environment at home just to check different aspects of load balancing, go ahead and link to configure load balancing for NetScaler VPX, which is virtual, and it is Express edition. Okay, well, I was not planning to go to in depth with the NetScaler because this is a XenApp course and not a NetScaler course. But I really wanted to add this product to this course because you will see this mentioned in every job opportunity, nearly wherever there's Citrix involved, they say, hey, at least you should know some of the aspects of NetScaler. What is it? How is it deployed? Or what are the functionalities there? Why is it basically there? And so this is just how to deploy it and to know some insight of basically configuring a load balancing. I would recommend that go ahead with this document, try to implement that. First, create a scenario of your own. I want to open that application through that user, but I want the NetScaler to be in between my clients and backend servers, and then I want to open one connection and let's see if the uh, NetScaler really let me connect to that application. So this take it as a challenge and try to configure it. Involve me wherever, but let me see how what is your application flow. What is your main plan of action? How are you creating your environment? Where did you put and how did you connect it between the clients and servers? I want to see that and try to work along with you if you're serious about that. But at least we get to know some of the features of NetScaler. So guys, there is that 15-minute break, and then we go for an installation of XenServer, and which is a hypervisor of Citrix on which XenApp servers are in many job environments. I've seen that, or my friends have told that we have XenServer. That On XenServer they have deployed their Zen desktop as well as the XenApp environment. So we need to see that XenServer as well. Let's download that, install that, and check how it works, basically. So we meet at after 17.5 minutes, please. Seriously? Okay, there was a request for specifically this many minutes, 17.5, or we meet at 9. 5 minutes or 9:05. So, break for 17.5 minutes. Special request upon special request. Okay, so let's meet after this, and then we see some of the XenServer capabilities as well, which is another crucial product of Citrix. I'm pausing the video. Okay, we're back from break, and what we tried before was the NetScaler overview, how to download, give license, and see some of the features and basic load balancing components that we have to configure one by one. But this was just a basic overview of what it has. Its own course for NetScaler. As you can see, it's a gateway device with firewall and all the perimeter device functionalities that you can put. So it alone can take the traffic, VPN traffic, and then distribute the users across different XenApp servers, and it can take a huge amount of traffic with lots of extra optimization features, monitoring features. So, well, it deserves a separate course, and it has one. So, okay, then there was that other product called the XenServer, where this is a hypervisor, and what we are using is a hypervisor, VMware Workstation. This is also a hypervisor, and then there's another hypervisor where you normally do not have an OS in between. So ESXi and other Hyper-V has Microsoft has its own, and VMware has its own hypervisor. So Citrix has its own hypervisor. So about that, if I have downloaded because it's a free hypervisor, just like ESXi and Hyper-V. It's also a free one. The latest version of XenServer is 6.5. I just wanted to drag some of the that I want to drag that page to show some of the features of this. um, so if I just make the page bigger, so it's the XenServer, open source virtualization platform. Okay, just like ESXi. And for managing cloud, server, and desktop virtual infrastructures and enabling a seamless path to the cloud. Data center automation suite is there. Automate key IT processes. Yeah, that sales pitch. High density cloud and desktop environment optimizations. The desktop optimization. So desktop product, the Zen desktop. We're gonna try to see some of the features of that too in the 7.6 implementation of that. Uh, just overview of that as well. But Zen server, of course, is created to and optimized to integrate all the other products of Citrix. So then there's advanced integration and management tools for all the other products. Zen and high performance and visualization platform leverage best in class technology, including the Zen project hypervisor, Zen motion live migration. Okay, there's Zen motion, just like live motion and V motion. So live motion is in Hyper-V, V motion is in VMware, and then there is that Zen motion here in the Zen server. Storage Zen motion. Okay, storage V motion. Okay, anyway, so the Zen Center management console, just like vCenter there. Okay, I have Facebook as well. Seriously. Um, okay, so there are all those same terminologies, nearly same terminologies, and it's good that they have named it that way, so we could at least know. Okay, they're talking about this, which we already have knowledge of concept wise. We have the knowledge of that. So just okay. And Zen Server Conversion Manager for VMware to Zen Server conversions. Oh, seriously. Hey, Facebook. Okay. So Zen Server Standard Edition, there is that Standard Edition Basic Commercial Virtualization Platform, full 64-bit, high availability, fault tolerance, data protection. This is same for ESXi as well. Then live migration, live storage migration, shared nothing migration. This is in Microsoft shared nothing migration. Distributed virtual switch controller. Wow, exact copy of VMware vSphere, right? Oh, I should not say that. GPU pass through NVIDIA and AMD. Okay, and then there's that standard edition was there, and then the enterprise edition, comprehensive server virtualization platform for data center and cloud infrastructure workloads, in-memory read cache, dynamic resource scheduling, workload balancing, hypervisor measured boot. So it's the same like in wow, many of the, in fact all vSphere conversion manager. Oh, you want to convert from vSphere to Zen server, then this is it. NVIDIA grade GPU virtualization for better graphics. So there is that. You can just install the Zen Server 6.5 version of that, and select currency. Wow, for enterprise, I think the support they are, offering this, and then the testimonials. Oh, I really wanted that, and blah blah blah. Okay, license description. Citrix XenServer is available as a standard enterprise edition based on per socket licensing model with on-premises. When you go for Zen Center to manage all these, then there are licenses involved. But when you're installing just one, it's not the case. So let's go ahead and we saw from the website that okay, it offers all those features which the vSphere we were also see. Okay. There's that option. There's that. Okay. Is everyone able to see the screen? Is everyone able to see the screen? Oh, yes. So, Moment, why aren't you able to see the screen? I'm sorry, I saw that message a little late. Um, so there's on premises. So, oh, okay, now it's okay. Right, cool. So license type. Yeah, let's just uh, go for some of the selections. If I go for standard and CPU socket, or if I go for enterprise, then also CPU sockets, 1 year software maintenance, and then if I go to buy now, so much for free XenServer. But anyway, I downloaded that, and we're gonna install that. But if I go to buy now, is it gonna be buy now or just buy now? Oh, okay. So I selected enterprise version, which is now $695. Obviously, I'm not paying that. And create a new account, blah blah blah. And okay. So yes, for enterprise version, for standard version, they are putting it at a cost. Hey, seriously? Okay. So, but in VMware, you know that the licensing is when you go for vCenter, vSphere vCenter product, and then you want to manage, you want to have all those features of high availability, of course, then the costs are very, very high. Compared to those costs, this is really cheap for enterprises. But is it really stable? Does it have the market reputation? That is still, if we ask their sales guys, they'll say, oh, yeah, sure. Anyway, so I'm just gonna shut down this. Seriously, how do I shut it? Uh, face the book. Okay, stop it. I think it's gonna still keep on going. So I'm just gonna stop this now. Shut down. It was just shut down, power down by root. Okay. I just wanted to know the command for the NetScaler as well. So let's just create a new virtual machine here, create a new virtual machine for XenServer, and if I go next and try to connect that ISO of the XenServer, so we have 6.2 install city, which is the latest version right now. In fact, when I dragged the screen here, it was 6.5. So I just downloaded that, and it's 576 megabyte. So double click, and it could not detect that. It's a VMware product, right? So next, Solaris 10. Okay. So I'm just gonna name it as XenServer 01. Next. Well, 16 gigs. Hard disk. I hope it's 10 provisioned, 100 GB. So I'm just giving it 100 GB, and then split finish on this virtual machine. So this is to install upgrade, press the enter key. Well, it entered already, and then the wizard starts as it would if you had installed ESXi hypervisor from VMware, or Hyper-V from Microsoft. This is how XenServer also gets installed. It's going to go for, okay, let me just drag some more of the, okay, so well, these are the basic installation, and you can see that it's not mouse driven, so keyboard US, press OK. I'm just pressing enter now. The setup tool can be used to install or upgrade XenServer, blah blah blah. So to load device driver, press OK. It will erase all data. Yeah, erase it please. So, and then accept end user license agreement, or EULA. So accept that. Following problems were found with your hardware. Hardware virtualization assist support is not available on this system. Blah blah blah. You may continue with the installation. Those XenServer might have limited functionality until you have because it's already VMware platform. And so there is SDA, which disks would you like to use for virtual machine storage? One storage repository will be created. Okay, I should have started the notification here for Facebook as well. You can choose not to prepare any storage if you wish to create an advanced configuration after installation. Enable thin provisioning. Okay, so just normal options. Local media, yes, it's not attached, or remote media. I'm installing it on local disk. Enter. You like to install any supplemental packs? Not now. Any extra feature packs or supplemental packs as they're saying, so we would have to separately download. Okay, so there's a comment in the chat. Sorry, I missed the part for installing. You already had XenServer installation before or you paid. So that's the question, did I pay for this XenServer? So that's interesting, and if I want to download that, which I did not show actually, and then which I just dragged this, but if I go to Citrix downloads, no, I did not pay, first of all, what I wanted to see, but where did I download that? If I drag the screen now, okay, wrong one, still downloads, go for, so I'm just dragging it here. So if I'm on the citrix.com products and go to downloads and go to way down to XenServer, and there you go, all those products, and of course they are trials. So XenServer tech previews, XenServer 6.5 is the latest one. Product software, hot fixes. What I have right now is this. So but if I want to download the latest one, if I go to XenServer 6.5 here, I just wanted to, let's look at what it says, or does it stop us or anything. Industry leading platform, blah blah blah, we are the best, we are Superman, extra. You know, they're gonna praise themselves, of course. For details, I just wanted to see the word free. But there was price tag with it. When you go for all the features, high availability features, fault tolerance, if you want to use that. But this is where I downloaded that, so let me just send that link as well. So on Citrix, okay, download XenServer hypervisor link. So this would really get, and it's free, yeah, here. So it's in the group now, and so it says 64-bit bare metal virtualization hypervisor with multi-server management. This package contains all you need to create and manage the VMs. System requirements, if I go to 6.5, while I have 6.2, doesn't matter if you download this one, still the steps should be the same. So see applicable products, and so that's the PDF for that, but now that's going to have, of course, full working of the hypervisor. What I wanted to go for was upgrading XenServer, boot from SAN environments, Pixie boot, SCVMM and SCOM with XenServer. So yeah, SCVMM is one product that we really need to check, but I'm adding this with my next upcoming class of course of SCCM with SCVMM and SCOM as well. I'm gonna add some reviews of that. So there's that Kid Mutiny coming my way. Then there's a Zen Center, like vCenter and XenServer. So yeah, we can download it easily, right? You're welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and download this. Would you like to install any supplemental packs? So I'll press no for now. Verify installation source. Yeah, verify that, please. Thank you. So it's gonna check that ISO which I downloaded. It's 6.2, and I have also verification of your installation is good and no problems found. Yeah, okay, okay. So I'm just gonna put the class password there and press OK. Automatic configuration DHCP. Well, it's a critical resource, so whatever next available IP address in static range I have, static list, yeah, I manually created, of course, would create 9. I think I'm not using 9, so 255.255.255.0 gateway 168.200.50. Okay, so and that's the name of the server, so I'm just gonna go for XenServer 001, and of course our DNS is 1, so press OK, and we are in America continent, and please select the city. Okay, Toronto. Okay, NTP, network time protocol. So we are using our domain controller as our time source, so I'm just gonna put the IP there for my domain controller. Press OK. Install XenServer. We have corrected all info. Please go ahead, and while this is going on, there is that software. So there's that Zen Center, which is showing is 49 megs, and if I go back, okay, it's already, oh yeah, it's already installing. So Zen Center, if I just try to put it here, although I should put it on the server, maybe on a domain controller. So I'm on my back on my domain controller now. I don't have a 9. Yeah, don't have a 9. So then Center Setup Wizard, just wanted to show just me, all users, good. I'm installing it on the Windows 7 right now, right? So so Zen Center is supposed to be where you could add multiple Zen servers and then make them highly available or do live migrations between them. So it's from a central location, central dashboard. You can just add Zen server 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then try to make them highly available. Okay, installation finished for Zen Center on Windows 7. Are you kidding me? Okay, anyway, no. So Citrix XenServer. Just wanted to give it a try. But anyway, I installed Zen. vCenter could be installed on a server, but so I'm talking about VMware vCenter, which is also a central software from which you can control all the VMware ESXi servers or hypervisors, and it was a pretty complicated, heavy application. In last course we did that all. So I'm just trying to see the error. I was expecting an error to come that XenServer, oh, you're installing it in Windows 7, so please don't do that. Instead, but would you like Zen Center to periodically check the internet for Zen server updates? Okay, yeah. Anyway, so this is a Zen Center industry leading. So here I can add a Zen server which I'm already in the process of installing right now. But it has its industry leading products integration like desktop virtualization, uh, where Citrix really is a market leader, and all the other servers that we can add. So if I click add here, it will ask for a root password, username, password, which I already gave there, but the server is still in the installation going on, in the process of installing, or it is done. Yeah, this the server installation has completed. Please remove any local media, blah blah blah. Press OK. Okay, so it's going to boot and show some graphical interface here. So this is not the perfect environment, XenServer on a VMware workstation. Of course, we are having our private lab, so that's why. Otherwise, so I have now the that Zen Center, so I could add this server there, and then we could see some features, and I could just show you, or we could at least compare it with the uh, VMware vCenter features. Although it is saying it supports all those features, uh, but for those features to be enabled, that's what I wanted to see. That although it has sent a license as well. Let me just check my email if I have the license for that, and that it would stop me at that. Hey, just get that license so we could show you all the features. Otherwise, in the free version or the trial version, even working trial version, it should download XenServer hypervisor link. Oh, XenServer. Seriously. Okay. Mm-hmm. Seriously. Just okay. There you go. So we can see all the configuration of the XenServer from here. If we want to, uh, you know, configure it right from that. So if you might remember, or if you have, so there's a question there. If Citrix has, just like VMware Workstation, if the Citrix has such product, um, well, if there is, I have no idea about that, but I don't think it has that product on that level. And then there's another question: can you explain relation between NetScaler and XenServer? Yep. So okay, first Anne had that question: if Citrix has VMware Workstation like product. Citrix has huge amount of products, and I don't think VMware Workstation product is there. But we can always find out. We can try to know. But what we know for now, that VMware Workstation level products in the market, there is a VirtualBox, which is not from Citrix. VirtualBox is from, I think, Oracle, and this is free product, and it works just like VMware Workstation, but that is free VirtualBox. So, and then there is Hyper-V within Windows 8 and Windows 10 now coming. That can be used as a VMware Workstation alternate. And then there is in Red Hat. They have also introduced their own virtualization, but still you have to have that server, I think. So, but other than those, if there are third-party products, there could be many, but I just know these. But Citrix doesn't have it, I think. Or maybe it's available for bigger environment, but not for our home computers. Okay. And so can you explain relation between NetScaler and XenServer? So XenServer, okay, again, then there is, so we can use Hyper-V for building XenServer as well. Yeah, you can, and so you can build Hyper-V, you can use Hyper-V to build XenServers as well, unless Hyper-V has some objection. We just saw that XenServer easily installed in VMware Workstation, no objection there from Workstation. Otherwise, remember that when we tried installing the Hyper-V product inside the VMware Workstation in previous class, in MCSA class, or the Windows 2012, so we could not, and we had to use a workaround. But XenServer easily installed, so I hope it would be installed without any objection from in Hyper-V environment as well. Okay, and Ali, so there are questions. Can you explain VIP for XenServer, which we can see now, and physical server, that's the server has to have it. Okay, so Ali has a question. First of all, first question is that what is the difference between NetScaler and XenServer? So NetScaler is an appliance or a perimeter device which would let the traffic come inside and go outside, right? And XenServer is a hypervisor on which you can deploy virtual machines. So there is a big difference. You can install the NetScaler appliance inside XenServer as an independent virtual machine or as an independent virtual appliance. In fact, when I was showing you the download options for those, since I opened gazillions of Citrix sites here, now I'm having trouble just going to that one. Okay, it's not there. So what I was trying to say is that if I go up, or nope, what I was trying to say is that you can install an appliance on a hypervisor. So okay, let's go here, and this is hypervisor, and there is one machine with Linux installed, one machine with 2012 installed, there is one machine with any other operating system installed. Then there's one appliance that could be actually NetScaler, right? As a virtual machine you can install, but this is the hypervisor that we're talking about, that we installed. XenServer is a hypervisor on which you can it is dedicated to just installation of virtual machines, just like there is ESXi server in VMware. XenServer is hypervisor by Citrix. So, and ESXi is a hypervisor by VMware. Hyper-V is a hypervisor by Microsoft. So this is just, so there's a big difference, right? Now, when there's a second question in the chat that can you explain VIP for XenServer? So virtual IP address, if we go back to the diagram, is so if we put VIP or virtual IP address, so what happens is that this IP address is put on the front. This IP address is given to the clients to connect to the services that are being offered by Citrix form. So if there are multiple servers here, and so you cannot give all the clients. Suppose there are many clients here that are connecting from outside, and they are trying to connect. So you cannot give IP address of this 4 IP addresses to all the 1,000 clients. Hey, you can connect to any one of those. Instead, you give a virtual IP address to all the clients that, hey, you want to make a connection, connect to this. So the VIP is connected here. Then there is that, suppose this is appliance, NetScaler and virtual appliance, but normally big companies have hardware appliance, right? Which is connected to the on the perimeter with the firewall, main firewall, which is receiving the traffic, or sometimes it's directly receiving the traffic from outside. So it is connected. So maybe the NetScaler appliance is connected to directly to the ISP to receive all the traffic from outside. So virtual IP is that one IP which are given to the clients or the applications. They connect to just one IP. They just have to remember one IP, and from there, the IP forwards the traffic to the NetScaler. NetScaler decides which among these four is the least used server or has more hardware available to give to take the new connection that I'm forwarding now. So whichever is the least used connection server or having the least pressure of memory and uh, processing, so it will just forward. This is called load balancing, and so virtual IP is in the front and is given to the applications or clients outside, and so they don't have to remember the IPs of this. They just get through one IP, and behind this IP are services available on all four or all 10 or all 100 Citrix servers. So this is the hypervisor, which is XenServer, and it is hosting all the virtual machines. One of the virtual machines could be the NetScaler appliance, and the virtual IP address is just in the front, one IP address and FQDN that the clients have to remember to request opening any application from the Citrix form, right? So this is how it all fits in. This is just one IP address in the front that the client has to remember, and then it forwards the traffic to the NetScaler. NetScaler load balance the traffic and sends the traffic to the least used XenApp server. So they are totally different things. VIP has to do with load balancing and a high availability stuff, while hypervisor XenServer is all about hosting virtual machines, like virtual machine 1, 2, 3, just like ESXi and VMware, right? So, right, okay. So this is hypervisor deployed already. A hypervisor would surely we have to deploy that to a physical server normally, but this is our private lab. That's why I am deploying it inside VMware Workstation. But normally it's just this hypervisor and just hardware server, right? So that's how it is deployed. So we're not supposed to be deploying like this, but we're just testing, right? So the second thing is, since it is deployed, we are just trying to see what are the options here, and there are many. So the status displays that the IP address is given 200.9. What about if I want to connect through browser, just like if we would connect through browser to a VMware server, it would open a page where I could download the client. So I just wanted to see if it's the exact copy of VMware. Oops, I should not say that. But anyway, was I using 14? So if I want to connect to any of these machines, 14, yeah. So before I add it to the Zen Center, which is like Center in the VMware, so Zen Center, where you can add a lot of servers. Yeah, it's a type 1 hypervisor, exactly. So what is type 1 and type 2 diabetes? Oh, sorry, hypervisors. So what is type 1 and type 2 hypervisor? Type 1 is a bare metal hypervisor. So if I want to show here that if you create two servers here, two physical servers are here, but one server has OS, and then on top of that type 2 hypervisor, which is which could be VMware Workstation as we are using it now, or I gave the example of VirtualBox as well. And then inside the VMware Workstation, we have virtual machine VM01, and then another virtual machine VM02, another virtual machine, as we are creating our environment here. And then there is the type 1 hypervisor. So this is type 2, and then there is this without OS. So in type 2 there is OS is just grabbing all the processing and memory, as well as these machines also claiming that same memory and processing. So if the OS is already there, then there will be a lesser amount of memory and processing for the VMs. So type 1 has just very small, it has a very small footprint on the hardware. It's a direct hypervisor, or if you can say, this is type 2 hypervisor. This VMware Workstation is the type 2. This is the direct ISO, or the software you installed. It has a very small footprint, and on top of this you can install all the VMs, VM1, VM2, and VM3. So it's the type 1 hypervisor, where it gets directly installed on the hardware itself, bare metal hardware, or where there's nothing installed. So this means it does not take a lot of memory and processing, right? So this is what XenServer is. And okay, so there is XenCenter here, but I wanted to connect with the browser just to see that what it shows, or if it shows at all something. 192.168.200.9 was the static IP given to that. So before adding it to the Citrix XenCenter, which is like a vCenter in Hyper-V. So if I go for 192.168.200.9, so Citrix is XenServer 6.2 detected there. There is that XenCenter CD image, and then there is that XenCenter installer, and we get to install the XenCenter.msi, which I already installed and downloaded. So if I save it somewhere here for this client, documents, there's downloads. This is 37 megabyte, right? So it's a small client, we can say, while the actual XenCenter is which is already running here is 300 something megabyte. So this is 48 megabyte XenCenter. I think I should not deploy it here because I already deployed XenCenter there. So I'm just gonna open the browser here. Oh, it's Explorer. Sucks. 192.168.200.9 and XenCenter. Save downloads, because I have the bigger version of XenCenter deployed there in Windows 7, so I just wanted to run the smaller 48 megabyte version here. Let's see. It should show some of the same things that other XenCenter was showing, but so let me just go back there. Don't run. I'm just closing this because I already have a XenCenter here available. Here in the bigger version, so I just wanted to check there, run while XenCenter is being installed here. I'll just go back there and check if I can add that server. So I'm just clicking add here after installation of XenCenter, and I wanted to double check if it is. It's oh, this is also a 48 megabyte. Desktop downloads 49 megabytes. Oh, it's the same. So I separately downloaded, and I thought I downloaded the bigger version, but it's the same version which I'm just installing there. And yeah, but I'm installing, but I don't need it. So I'm just gonna try to add that server. So it is, I think, XenServer 01, and the password with the root account. Add. If the credentials are okay and the communication is okay, it should show that server here. Oh, connect to the XenServer 01. The server could not be found. Oh, okay. One more thing, I just needed to check what is the name I really give here to really communicate it from the other side and create one virtual machine there inside and make sure XenServer 1. Yep, XenServer 01. But what I did not do is I did not create a DNS A record for this. So I'm inside the DNS and going for new host A record and Zen server, but I have to define this Citrix domain.local there as well in the suffixes, the host suffix. So XenServer 01. So then I can by name access it, right? 192.168.200.9. Add. Okay. Enter a valid hostname or IP address. Hey, why don't we just try IP address for now? 68.200.9. Add. I can ping, right? Yep. Okay. Yep. XenCenter can remember login credentials for your managed servers and use them to automatically restore the connection state of your servers when you save and restore server connection state on startup. Okay. Master password. Require master password. When set, the master password protects all your server login credentials. Okay. Save and restore server. That's it. Okay, so there's another question in the chat. If we install server in for remote site, how to manage that? Nobody access to inside XenServer management. They just view it. This is the same for that E6i server as well. But if you want anyone to, oops. Hey, mute yourself, please. Okay. Okay, so there is that question that if we install, so suppose this is a XenServer here, and this is the XenServer, and there are virtual machines. So you want some within the company, you want the users to access these virtual servers, but from outside the company you don't want them to access, right? From remote sites or anything. So it's all about giving access. Yes. Oh, it's 10 minutes left. Yep. So what you're saying is, so suppose you install a virtual machine here and you give an IP address to that virtual machine and a name. If you are able to ping that from inside the network or from outside the network or from across the branch, suppose this is another branch here, and if users are able to ping this server, because internal users will be able to ping that server. If they are able to ping, then it depends on the authorization. It depends on if it's a normal user, yes, they will be able to ping, they will be able to see those servers, but they won't be able to access or go inside those servers, right? If you are able to ping from another branch here to this branch, you will still be able to see that server, but you won't be able to open the shared folders, or then it's all authorization. XenServer management console, yeah. So XenServer management console, as we are seeing here, yeah, okay, I'm just saying, don't remember the IP address. So this is the management console here, right? You can, so for vSphere also, And for other, so let me just close this, and it should ask for authentication actually. Zen Center. Well, in VMware it asks for authentication first, right? So even if you have the exe file here and you install, and you're not authorized to access that, anyone can have an exe file, right? But if it asks for a username password there, that's what is going to stop other users from accessing the management console. Uh, in our case, it's, you can see it's pretty secure. It did not ask me any username password. So if I log in from user 05, this is administrator, right? And I was able to add the Zen server because I know the root password of that Zen server. But in VMware, it's pretty much more secure than this. That if you open the vCenter, it asks for credentials first, and then it lets you open the management console. But here, uh, it did not. So try not to buy this one anyway for your company. But anyway, I just have to do some more testing. But this is still a legit question, right? That if anyone just gets their hands on the XenServer, are they gonna just open it and start adding? So if they don't know the IP address or password of the XenServer root, which should be very difficult, they should not be able to add anything. They could view it then, but you need more permissions to access any of the other options too. So let me, so I added this server, XenServer 01. If I try to connect and put that root password, this is what other users might not have. But it was asking for master password as well, which I skipped. Then I could have shown you that, hey, see, it's asking before opening the management console, it's asking for authentication. So this is what it is, that if there's authentication before opening the management console, yes, it's gonna be safe. Otherwise, at least they won't be able to add the server. So this is the Zen server showing different options, different areas, the CPU used by this. So this is the Zen Center showing the remotely all the management area, the CPU memory being used for this Zen server. If I had 10 more Zen servers, I would have added all those servers one by one with this add new server and basically manage them, Zen server 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So from this one central console, I would have managed those servers. So this is the beauty of that. So there's a server view, then there's a folder view. If you have branches here, so we can actually create. If we go for add, this is the server addition. But if we go for it doesn't show the add folders here, but we can add folders according to, okay, ny branch and all the Zen servers for that. And this is just like we were doing it for. And if I just then there are types here. So there's that Zen server, then there's Zen server templates that we can create out of. There is that CentOS templates that we can create. XenApp applications that we can, those virtual machines that are hosting all these applications and OSs. Then there's vapps. But anyway, I wanted to go for just showing inside of the folder view VMs and snapshots. Are there any virtual machines inside the servers? None right now. But let's go to server view, and I just wanted to show, if you add one server, what happens, and what else can you do. So there's that Zen server. If you right click there, you can create new virtual machine. The pool concept is there, that a group of virtual machines, and there's that. So if I go for new virtual machine, it's asking for what operating system you have. Now it's just working like any other hypervisor, type 1 hypervisor. So if I go for next and Windows 7, it's boot from the network. Okay, that's good option. But ISO, I did not provide one. Next, place the VM on this server. If I had remote storage, I would have added that there. Okay, there's another question. Does XenCenter has web client version like VMware? So that's what I was trying to access. So the question is that, okay, you have a separate application for accessing the Zen Center itself. This is the application, but can you access this Zen Center from the browser as well? Web client. So there should be, but since we this is still an introductory class, and if there's a full Zen server course, I would just go down and show you exactly if we can access this same from the browser as well with all the features. I think there is, but right now I can check it, but I did not use it before because XenServer is something that very less companies are using. But now, since it's free or it's so cheap, 659 for Enterprise Edition with all those features, companies are now, because of the economy, companies are going for cheaper solutions. So I am hearing a lot of in job announcements as well that you should have experience with XenServer, Hyper-V, and they add everything. Just like they always like need a Superman. You should know all those 1 million things. So if I just go and check it again, because I last time did that, that's the only thing it offered to download there, the image or the client itself. But we have to dig out the XenServer page on Citrix as well to see if it is. Yeah. So XenServer could be the future. Because of the economy, companies are going for cheaper, and Hyper-V was not considered reliable for big environments. Now I'm hearing so many administrators are running Hyper-V of Microsoft, the hypervisor actually, in big environments with hundred servers, or 70 or 80 servers, and it's running fine. So yes, they are also coming up as a challenge for VMware, but it's still not very near. So you should be best in VMware first, and then you should be good in Hyper-V. Also is great in demand. Server and Zen Center you should know at least, right? So place the VM on this server next, and then vCPUs how many, and memory. Okay, 4 gigs. Local storage. Network, yeah, auto-generated MAC address. Start new VM. Start. Yeah. So this is, and then there are DVD drives for this Zen server, whatever local storage. Okay, there's the first virtual machine pops up. There were no servers available to start VM. HVM is required for this operation. So there is no servers available to start. So yeah, this has to. I was trying to show that if you create one virtual machine, how does it really? Maybe I'm running out of space here. Created by template provisioner, local storage. So there's that virtual machine created on this Zen server, and VM ESXi also works the same. You create one, you add one ESXi inside the vCenter in VMware, and then you create virtual machines inside that ESXi server. So the same thing is here. Zen Center, we have added one Zen server, which is here, and then we create one virtual machine here. There are huge amount of functions. You can have new storages or remote storages added to this server, so it would just work like a type 1 hypervisor as Hyper-V, or especially ESXi server. This is just how it is installed. You can download, the link is also shown here, and also how to create a virtual machine, how to remotely connect, what is the which client is there, and this is also an overview of XenServer as well as the NetScaler. You should repeat these videos, try to install these technologies as well. Every knowledge is critical, and we will never know when we would have to explain or implement any of these technologies. So always repeat these labs at your home, and try to involve me if you're stuck somewhere. but try to install these two, NetScaler as well as XenServer. Try them, and it put it on your resume as well. Hey, I can download and install. Yay! Anyway, so try to dig out more at your home labs, and that is it. Any more questions? It's XenServer is pretty complicated, and there's a separate certification for that, as well as for NetScaler. So this is just an overview. So guys, there are some smaller topics left for XenApp, like HDX and so how many classes? Two classes left. So I intend to do some smaller topics. Then I want to go for 7.6, the latest one. Okay, there's that question 2 or 3. So this is 11th or 12th class. Okay, so Ali is saying 3 classes. So we have 3 classes now. Yay! Okay, so just wanted to go for 7.6, and for that I'll be deploying Windows 2012, and I'm just during the week. If you want to join in, you should. If you really want to learn it, do it. Don't just listen to it. So I'm gonna send the lab requirement for and the software required to deploy 7.6, and you will see that all terminologies have changed, and the new XenApp environment is different than this one. Terminologies have changed. Basic concept are still same, but terminologies and the look has changed. So much has changed. So it's exciting, and it's on Windows 2012. So we can now officially get rid of Windows 2008, but don't get rid of it. Repeat the whole lab, all the labs, and create a simultaneous environment for 2012. So I'm just going to email you the requirements for 2012 and the Zen desktop software, Zen app 7.6 latest software, so we could try all these. Yeah, so there's a comment that you did for Windows 2012, right? So if you have that environment intact, and so now we can use that Windows 2012, right? But we're not gonna be like using XenApp 6.5. We're gonna be using, yeah. So I'll be. Oh yes, there's another comment. PDFs as well. Oh yeah. Okay, tonight I'll just try to put all those PDFs for these slides to their respective links on Dropbox, and I'm gonna send you. And you can ask me if there's any problem with any. So create your environment for Windows 2012. Oh yeah. Well, it has its own bugs. They're not less, but they're less. Okay, I can say they're lesser than 6.5, but they are bugs. But 7.6 is really promising and exciting. Yeah, PDF. So two guys have asked for PDF. Sorry about that. So yes, I'll upload that hopefully tonight. So see you on Sunday, and I'm gonna send you some emails tonight, tomorrow, for the requirements for 7.6 and the link to download. And maybe you have to create your own licenses for Citrix. Not maybe, surely. So stay in touch with me and try to show your excitement for 7.6 so we can go ahead a little faster, right? Oh yeah, so software today. So there are 2 questions. Anyone? I'm gonna upload the NetScaler software as well as the XenServer software, Zen Center as well. I hadn't uploaded it yet, so I'm gonna upload that and send you the Dropbox link. Download them and use them, but you have to use your own license, right? So you have to go there, and it's free. So if you download it from NetScaler and XenServer, if you download both from directly from Citrix from your account, you're gonna get those licenses as well, license file as well. I mean, for you, right? Otherwise, if you take mine, you still have to go and get the licenses for them. But anyway, I'm gonna upload that and send you the link, and you can try it out. Okay, anyone gave the exam? So anyone who gave the exam, let us know, or anyone who's trying to give the exam, let us know as well. You're welcome. And then again, SCCM class will be starting soon, but I'm adding SCVMM, which is very crucial in job environment, and SCOM, overviews as well, just like I added XenServer overview and NetScaler apart from the course, but very important in the market. So let us know who is interested in SCCM. It's dragging on and on. Okay, so anyway, after this class, we're gonna start immediately SCCM and SCVMM and SCOM as well. Okay, so happy holidays, and yeah, we had holidays, so this Sunday we meet with 7.6. Okay, good night, everyone. Any questions, let me know. Happy New Year. Good night. Yep. Right. Stopping the videos.